So many quotes, like famous quotes, are like saying one thing and then play on the word or on the words to drive the point home. Like, that reminds me of, I was just reading Angela Davis's quote. It was like, I cannot accept things. What is it? I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change, and I'm changing the things I cannot accept. And there's a similar James Baldwin quote where he says something. Found the James Baldwin quote, and it was, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And that reminds me, another example, in case you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, is, where is it? Live the life you love the life you live. You guys get what I'm saying? You guys get what I'm saying? There's a guy online who I've really followed, and his username is live to learn to live. And I just think it's interesting that so many famous sayings are like that. I just finished reading Are Prisons Obsolete by Angela Davis, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know if I could make it through the book, even though it is pretty short, because it's just not super pleasant topic to read about. It's heavy, and it takes critical thinking. Ooh, there's a squirrel. And it takes critical thinking to really sit down and process what she's saying. And this is actually really fitting that I'm reading this book now, considering, holy shit, that squirrel just did parkour. It, like, ran up the side of the wall of my neighbor's house and then just, like, jumped off. That was pretty cool. But I was watching Orange is the New Black, so I've already had a lot of, like, I've already been consuming a lot of information about prisons and how they are. So this just, like, expanded on that a lot. And I think what I learned more from this book, like, building on what I saw in Orange is the New Black, is that it's not just the fact that prisons are privatized that are the problem, even though that is a big problem, but also that even if prisons weren't privatized, they would still be really heavily entrenched in, I guess, the prison industrial complex. Like, companies would still make profits off of the prisons, even if they weren't privatized, because of all the food companies that the prisons buy food from for the prisoners, and all the companies that make the beds and sell them to prisons. Like, they're all making money off that shit. So I learned that from the book. That wasn't really shown in Orange is the New Black. And the thing this book covered as well is how prisoners were used as test subjects. Wait, let me find the quote. There was this scientist who said the craziest shit when he came to a prison. Insane. His name was Dr. Kligman. Let me read this. When Dr. Kligman entered the aging prison, he was awed by the potential it held for research. In 1966, he recalled in a newspaper interview, "All I saw before me were acres of skin. It was like a farmer seeing a fertile field for the first time. The hundreds of inmates walking aimlessly before him represented a unique opportunity for unlimited and undisturbed medical research." He described it in this interview as an anthropoid colony, mainly healthy, under perfect control conditions. Are you shitting me? I wrote ew beside it because it's actually disgusting. It's actually disgusting to have to say that. But reading this book got me thinking about how good of a job Orange is the New Black did in covering such an insane range of experiences, because like I was finishing the last season where Nikki gets with the Egyptian girl, and then how when they're trying to have sex, the Egyptian girl is like no and being really weird, and then they have a conversation about it, and she talks about how, and this was in a immigrant detention center, because Nikki was there as like a chef helping out to cook meals for them, and the Egyptian girl was like a detainee there. And the reason she even entered America illegally was because she escaped like her family and her like community, where all the women basically had their clit cut off, and she was talking about that shit, and I was like, fuck, that shit didn't even cross my mind. And in the end, it's sad, she ended up getting sent back to Egypt. And like covering that kind of experience, even the culture of her family and all that stuff, like you don't see that often. And around the same part of the season, they were showing how kids had to defend themselves in immigration court, and how sad it is, like a 5-year-old girl, like the judge talking down on her and being like, do you understand what is happening? Do you need a lawyer? Do you even know what a lawyer is? And the girl's like, no. It is so sad. It is so sad. So yeah, this was a pretty it wasn't a heavy read. It was really digestible and understandable and really well researched. But it's just the topic that I'm lucky that I don't like, I can choose not to think about, because like yeah, that's it. I think that's my cross media review of Are Prisons Obsolete and Orange is the New Black. Is there anything else? Yeah, and I'd say just the questions that are posed in this book are, I need a better word than nuance, are curious and actually educated and thought out, and aren't fear-based. They aren't trying to get rid of the system as fast as possible just to get rid of it and replace it with something because like it needs to be replaced, which is true, but just the questions pose long-term solutions that are sustainable and that could stand the test of time and run in the future and permanently result in the obsolescence of prisons. So yeah, I recommend reading this. And yeah, that's it.